On today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Summer and Sally have words about Nick. Adam explains to Nick how he now sees things, and Billy lets Kyle know he's thinking about Jack's offer. A stunned Diane learns that Jack just proposed to her in the cabin. While it could be a spur-of-the-moment decision, he believes it is the only one. They're meant to be together because of their mutual love. There's no reason to make things trickier than that. He tells her to wait and then leaves quickly. When by herself, she reflects on the tensions between her and Jack after she introduced Allie to his life and the struggles they endured before reconciling. She sighs heavily, her expression glum, as she expresses her concern that Jack may not trust her. Stark texts her to let her know that she can't keep running away. It is assumed that Jack will come back. He opens a bottle of champagne to celebrate her success and the transformation she has brought to his life. Their potential together is breathtaking in his mind. They have a drink together, and then he gets down on one knee and asks her to marry him and make him the luckiest guy alive. He casually opens a jewelry box. Her gasps are audible. She cries as she expresses her gratitude and appreciation to him. Becoming his wife would fulfill her every desire. It's impossible for me to. We just can't do it, she says. Jack seems to be in a lot of pain. She argues that it would be unfair to him and his loved ones if she did so. She can't keep making his life so difficult. Jack is adamant that they are a unit and that they should stop trying to outrun Stark and their feelings for one another. For various reasons, they were never able to take the final leap. He is completely convinced that right now is the appropriate time. Just tell him yes, he begs. She gives him a passionate kiss and reluctantly agrees, but only after she has recovered from her shock. Yes, she exclaims, her voice rising to a shrill. It's a ring, and he puts it on her finger. Phyllis awakens on the sofa in Stark's room. He joins her on the sofa. How much she drank is something she will never forget. The clarity is low at best. After some time, she starts to wonder if she was involved in an accident. He says he saw her fall outside the hotel and intervened to keep her from being run over. She fainted right there in the middle of the sidewalk. And why did you bring me here? She queries. He says he was trying to help her out of a jam. She thinks he wants her to help him out with his plan to get back at Diane. Stark explains that there is probably video of her staggering around intoxicated and narrowly avoiding death that can be found on surveillance tapes. She is not going to give in to intimidation or threats. He hands her a water bottle and compliments her for her resilience. He proposes that she consider the events of her life that have brought her here tonight. For years after his release from prison, he still harbored bitterness. And finally, he had an epiphany that put him at ease. He made up his mind to channel his rage toward the one responsible for his life's devastation. Both of them are frustrated with Diane. Serenity can be attained through having a reason for living. It's possible for the two of them to jointly defeat her. He explains his scheme, assuming she'll be interested. It's turned down by her. The plan would shake things up in a way that she wouldn't want them to. He sees this as her chance to regain her confidence. This would give her a point of concentration, making it easier to defeat Diane. Phyllis staggers to the door, claiming it's not a smart plan but that she'll think about it. He asks her to give it some consideration. He can't take it any longer working by himself. Even though he wouldn't want her to miss out, he will find someone else if she isn't available. Adam has finally joined civilization. Sitting at a table, he recalls asking Sally if he might come along to some of her medical visits while he was there for a drink. Nick walks in and casually inquires as to his brother's expectancy, a seated Nick. He thinks they ought to talk about Sally's significant news together. Nick calls his brother from the bar to inform him he's in a jam. They predict the future together. Adam reassures him that he can be a father to the child without causing any problems for Sally and Nick. Nick expresses worry for her health and safety. He is convinced that his brother will try to force his way into Sally's life by taking advantage of the current situation. He predicts he will significantly increase Sally's level of difficulty and stress. Adam claims he is acting as though he has embraced his role in the child's life, but this could be a warning. His sibling cautions him to prioritize Sally's demands rather than his own. Adam reflected on how their sibling bond had developed. He has a new perspective on life now. When it comes to himself, Adam is beginning to believe that his father knows him better than anybody else. Nick is stumped for a reply. Adma reveals that he has undergone significant self-reflection over the previous 3 months. The time he spent with Chelsea and Connor has taught him a valuable lesson: never take someone for granted. Formerly he had difficulty distinguishing between different types of people, but now he can. Now he understands how good and respectful his brother was to him, and if he didn't step up back then, maybe he will now. Sally accidentally runs across Summer in crimson lights. She makes an effort at small chat. Summer is confused by the relevance. She'd rather discuss the redheads and her father's relationship. Is the situation more dire now than it was before? Spectra divulges her pregnancy news. Summer can't believe it. Sally reassures Summer that the baby is not Nick's, and Summer correctly guesses that the father is Adam. The two of them ought to go their separate ways, according to her. Sally makes it abundantly apparent that she and Adam will not be reconciling. Nick is everything she could desire in a partner, and the two of them are in this together. Spectra is rooting for her to give this some serious consideration and see the immense value of the relationship she shares with Nick. You're the most self-centered person I've ever met. The icy summer nights. Spectra realizes this is a lot of information to process. She and Nick are forming a relationship, and she hopes Summer would appreciate that even though they don't know what the future holds. She claims they are content in their relationship. To Summer, this is more evidence that Sally is using her father as a defense mechanism against Adam. She believes Spectra is taking advantage of Nick's kindness. Sally insists her emotions are genuine, but Summer doesn't see how this could ever end nicely. Chaos is all you're capable of generating, she sneers as she skips away. In the Grand Phoenix Hotel lobby, Kyle unexpectedly runs into Billy. As expected, Jack and Diane are discussed. In all honesty, Billy did express his joy to his sibling. Kyle must be wondering how Ashley is reacting to the reunion of his parents, since she knows how furious she is. You're going to be the kind uncle all of a sudden, inquiring Kyle. Billy worries and realizes he's in a bind. Kyle sits down and admits he hopes his parents can find happiness together, but he is concerned that his mother will harm Jack again. He knows she still cares about him, but the things she has done make it difficult to forgive her. Some of what Billy is feeling is familiar. As far as anyone can tell, Jill has never taken on a maternal role. On the other hand, his father was truly remarkable. As a dad himself, he understands Kyle's desire to shield the one constant in his life. In Billy's view, anybody has the potential to develop into the kind of person you wish they would be. In his mind, it's not too late to start a family. In other words, Kyle must return to his duties immediately. Jack is supposed to phone his uncle, and he has asked him to relay that message. To put it simply, he's giving his proposition careful thought. Down the corridor, Billy bumps into Phyllis. He can tell she's had better days than this. "Where is Jack?" she inquires. Billy reveals to us that his sibling Tom and his girlfriend Diane went on a trip together. He says, "Crazy, isn't it?" before adding that they appear to be in it for the long haul.